Hey, so Brian, what are some of the benefits, first of all, of having solar power on my home?
I think underlying is energy savings, right? So a lot of the motivations for folks is saving money. So that's generally speaking. There's a bottom line somewhere in the decision making process in order to go solar, and regardless of how you go about it, you have the opportunity to save some money in your energy bills, specifically against your electricity, given that solar is creating that electricity. So you're able to get a more energy resilient and independent by being able to fix some of your costs and lower your costs by investing in solar. And a lot of that's through what we call the net metering program, which is a bi-directional meter that's installed when you go solar by the utility, which is able to measure the give and take of power from your house to the utility and from the utility to your home. And that is able for the solar system to lower that kilowatt hour demand, which is what all of our electric bills are based on.
And then beyond my own home, can solar power have a positive impact on my community as a whole?
Absolutely. So just think of our neighborhood. So like we just mentioned the the net metering, right? So as in real time during the day, our solar system is going to generate a lot more electricity than our homes need. So it's going to flow through our net meter, effectively spinning that meter backwards or lowering the demand that you have from the grid, and you're pushing power onto the utility lines right from your house, and electricity doesn't discriminate, so it's just going to go right down the street and go to your neighbors' homes, and they're going to be essentially benefiting from clean renewable power that was made on the same street. So very efficient, as opposed to a lot of the utility power is centralized and made at a central power plant, and then it's sent on either our local utility lines, or if we don't make enough power during certain times of the day, week, year, or the month either, we would be buying power on the open market, and that would be coming through high tension power lines to our local grid and then being distributed out through the power lines. So there's a lot of line loss and inefficiencies, and we're buying a lot more power than we're actually using. So this is really solar is a tool for not only individual homeowners and businesses, but their neighborhoods and communities to benefit from.
Okay. And then we've talked before about the financial, benefits of solar power, and you mentioned, saving money on your bill as well. Can you give a little bit of more of a specific breakdown on how solar panels can help me save money on my electricity bill over time?
Sure, really, it comes down to that the net metering program, as well as by on a billing cycle on a monthly basis, your utility is going to read your meter, and if you are decreasing that demand and that kilowatt hour charge that you have the dependence on the grid from, then you're spending less than you were with the utility before. And if you know based on your site conditions and kind of the setup of your solar system and the anticipated productivity, you're going to be able to have a degree of offset, right? So your solar system is offsetting your demand and need of the utility, and otherwise you're generating your own clean renewable power to satisfy the need of your home. Um, and then you're able to build up credits through the net metering program that live on your electric bill, and therefore can be drawn upon in future months when, say, you don't make as much solar power as you did at different times a year, and therefore when you owe the utility, but you have in a given month, but you have credits to draw on, that bill that you owe for is either eliminated or offset by, yet again, those credits that you generated at different times of the year.
Right. So typically that would happen in the winter, right, where your solar panels are maybe not producing as much electricity, maybe not as much as you're using in your house. So you might owe something on your bill, but because you have all those credits built up from overproducing in the summer, then you're able to use those credits in the winter to help keep your bill down or eliminate your bill entirely.
Absolutely, yeah. The winter's the biggest one because we typically have a stretch of November when the sun drops, we have daylight savings, and that the clocks come back, and now it gets dark really early, and our days are really short, and the sun is now lower, and our solar systems become less productive. And so we have November, December, January, and February where we have lower sun angles and less sunlight throughout the day. That's day hours, less opportunity. But if we built up some credits through the spring, summer, and fall, then those credits will be able to offset those winter bills. It's just a matter of how many, how much you were able to build up, and how long those credits will last to offset um, the bills in the wintertime. There's also the peak of summer, so potentially you have, central air, and or maybe a pool, and other things that have a high draw in the peak of summer, and maybe you build up credits through spring and early summer, and then maybe in the hottest times of summer you're using a lot of air conditioning, or the pool pump's running a lot, and now you have an electric bill, and those credits will also offset, that time of year as well if need be. So it kind of happens automatically. It's really the goal is to make your electric bill more of a statement of that give and take of credits. And in a perfect world, you can eliminate that utility bill altogether. But not everyone has the site conditions to be able to do that. So the more of your electric bill you can fix with solar, the better the economics are. But if you're able to fix, even 50% or 70%, I mean, it's really the economics are compelling, and you're able to save money by fixing that portion of your electric bill.
So then, less from a financial standpoint and more of an environmental standpoint, can installing solar panels in my home help to contribute to a cleaner environment in my neighborhood or in my area?
Sure, by generating your own clean renewable power, now you're taking yourself out of the piece of the puzzle and the demand on the grid. So if you're in an area that's burning natural gas or coal, and you're lessening that demand by generating clean renewable solar power, well, there's not as much fossil fuels that need to be burned, in your town or the adjacent town, or down the way that from the power plant, right? So it's the more folks that are adopting solar, the less demand on the grid, the more efficient that our grid and resilient our grid becomes as well. And we're able to have more clean air, water, and land because of it.